Whoo! What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 36, season
37.
We just said that. 37. It's a long night. Season 4 of the Monday Night Wars. I am Chad Talks, and joining me, as always, is the man who is the host of the biggest party of the summer, J. Matt Gaming.
That is true. I am.
Biggest part of the summer, biggest fucking show you might have ever booked.
Oh my god, by far the biggest show I have ever booked. 49. Count them, 49
Jesus
segments
Christ.
tonight.
It's going to make Barely Legal look so small.
I mean, Starrcade runs against Armageddon, so that's kind of...
100%, no.
But that's what Mania runs
Right.
on Rising Sun.
Exactly.
But Rising Sun's a big one.
Rising Sun doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler. So we're out of the alliance. Why would it happen?
They don't know that.
Well, spoiler alert, Rising Sun's not happening. So I had to drop that bombshell on you.
Let's start off WWE Summerslam with going over what happened last year, including Stallone making the Adam Sandler, Dana White, Donald Trump triple threat match on the pre-show to determine who was the guest host for SummerSlam, and it was Adam Sandler. We also saw Kana defeating Takako Inoue for the WWF Women's Championship.
John Cena, Kane on the pre-show.
John Cena and Kane on the pre-show. Indeed, they both... Wow, Kane's roughest spot he's ever been, and Cena was on the come-ups. We also saw the opening hype package. We saw Key Cash's graduation party. Remember, he was Man Cash for a little bit?
Man Cash.
He lost to Paul White. Daniels defeating Tajiri for the Light Heavyweight Championship. Stasiak beating Randy Orton. Stasiak beat or lost to Lesnar the year prior. Mick Foley and Rocco one-on-one, Chad.
Hell yeah.
Lenny Lane answering or Alex Wright answering the European Championship Open Challenge. We saw Edge and Christian defeat the Second City Saints of Ace Steel and CM Punk and the Rat Boys, which in turn, the heel turn from Chad laying out Fig.
What a year it's been.
Angle calls out his shot. You know, he wanted a triple threat match. Eddie made his way down to the ring. And Billy Kidman was also here. Remember that whole thing of Billy Kidman sent a guy over and Billy Kidman answered the call? And Jericho came out. We saw Angle defeat Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho. Tonight we do see Angle and Jericho.
The storytelling a year later.
In the main event,
That's wild.
nonetheless.
Yeah.
Fans chanting at Jericho, please don't go, and he came. We saw Chavo and Latin Lover win the belts last year, defeating La Resistance, or they retained the belts last year. And now... they're fighting against each other.
Now they're bitter enemies.
SummerSlam, you know? Booker T defeating Jeff Jarrett to retain the U.S. belt in a 93. We saw Steiner versus Psychosis. Steiner winning the belt for the first time after Psychosis beat Eddie at Mania for the belt. Austin and Taker. Austin defeating Taker in a Hell in a Cell match, which then turned into one of the greatest rivalries until Stone Cold met a drug cartel, and that was it.
And Fujinami was not a member.
PJ Black defeats Dean Malenko.
That's an inside joke that I think only me and you would get. But
And then Brock Lesnar defeated Triple H in our main event to retain the WWF Championship until Kishi cashed in and won, beating Brock Lesnar to walk out of SummerSlam last year with the World Heavyweight Champion. Who won King of the Mountain this year? Alex Wright. He cashed in later that night.
Yep.
We got a big show, Chad. So buckle up.
I'm buckled.
We got the minor band here. We got a C-list celebrity here tonight.
Who's the C-list celebrity? Probably David Arquette.
David Arquette is here tonight. Yes. And the next time we got a big set tonight too. D'Lo Brown's is the band. Remember D'Lo?
Of course.
Let's get into it tonight, Chad. We start off on the pre-show with the Women's Invitational, Chad. And we start off with Jackie Gata and Lita. And Jackie Gata getting it done.
Jackie Gata.
Jackie Gata getting it done tonight. And it now has moved, what? She is now 4 points? Oh, she already fought Lita. No, she didn't. She did. Why did I book that? What are we doing here? That happened on Raw.
Damn.
Already off to an awful start. Awful start. Well, we'll figure that out on Raw. We also have Tori Wilson defeating Kyoko Inoue, which already also happened.
Oh.
Wow. What am I? Did I just rebook Raw? Satomura against Cutie Suzuki, which has not happened. So that's cool. Miko Satomura wins. Akira Hokuto defeating Yuki Magazaki, which has not happened. I made sure of that. I made sure of the last 3.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I just fumbled the first one, I think. Right?
First 2.
No,
right.
These 2 have fought as well. All right, well, this is going down the hill. Who cares anymore? Who cares about the pre-show here in SummerSlam? We'll fix it on Raw. And then we move on to our pre-show battle royal, Chad. And Scott Vick
the sickest guy in the game
has defended his pre-show championship and defeating Steve Blackman last with La Parka and Sting WWF as the Final 4.
Nice.
So we have a 2-time, making defense number 1 here, Chad. Well, I'm sorry I'm scrambled because my women's invitational has shit the bed tonight.
It's okay. It's okay. If that's the worst thing that happens to you today, we'll be in a good shape.
All right, let's start the show, Chad.
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown's band's playing.
Hell yeah.
The crowd is losing it. The electricity is zooming through the air. We got Michael Cole, Jim Ross, and Jonathan Coachman on call tonight. We got that little hype package, with our 2 big world title matches. It's Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, and Masawa versus Goldberg.
It's crazy.
Who would have thought those would be the matches 5 SummerSlams down the road in this save? Not me. Not me. And we move on. All the stars are here tonight,
Wow.
Chad. Jerry Seinfeld and David Arquette are here.
Crazy.
In the front row for Seinfeld, 16th row for David Arquette. We start off tonight with a match that was not on the pre-booking. So technically, I think I got 15 matches tonight, Chad.
Wow.
No, this was on the pre-booking. We start off with a match between a young and up-and-coming tag team against a young and up-and-coming tag team. We got Dylan Martin and Gabriel Burton taking on the Bashams. We saw this, we saw Martin and Burton. I'm going to write these down right now for you. August win. I'm going to give enough room. Okay, that's fine right there. Martin and Burton, they took on Dynamo at No Mercy. They didn't come up with a W, but they gave them Dynamo gave them,
Yeah.
They said, here you go. They're pretty good. And the Bashams took offense to that, and they started beating him up. And Gabriel Burton broke his jaw and then re-injured it after Doug Basham stomped on it after a match with the man. They've been on the shelf since, but they're back and fully healthy tonight. Can they get their comeuppance against the dastardly duo of Danny and Doug Basham? It's Dylan Martin, Gabriel Burton against the Bashams to open the show up. Chad, who do you got?
I think this is the big win for this up and coming team.
A big win on the start of SummerSlam, the first match of the night.
Yeah.
And a decent little bout. Dylan Martin and Gabriel Burton defeat the Bashams here when Gabriel Burton hits Doug Basham with that crunching elbow smash. One of the most dangerous and high offensive, high impact moves in all the business. The crunching elbow smash. Have you ever got hit with the crunching elbow smash?
I haven't, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
Yeah, it would be quiet.
Oh my god, you're gonna cry.
I would if I got hit by it.
Okay.
Who wouldn't,
I'm going to move to this next segment, right?
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to booking screen. I'm going to move one segment around. Just real quick, because I have the build to the Cruiserweight match after the Cruiserweight match.
Yeah.
And that would make no sense.
Wouldn't.
But we go on. Vince McMahon is backstage in the office, and he tells everyone, he's pissed off, Chad. He's pissed. PJ, you son of a bitch. If you weren't... Oh, my God, my throat is already fucked trying to do this. If you... Son of a bitch. If you weren't married to my daughter, Stephanie, your ass would be fired. You guys better do something about it. Because if you don't, and I have to, you better be calling over Ted Turner looking for a goddamn job.
I'll take him.
I'm going to return to the booking screen. Actually, I'm going to bring this over so no one can look. You look away for a second, Chad. I'm going to scroll all the way down to build to this. I hope that fixed it. I hope it did. All right, let's continue the show with the build of sexy Shannon Moore and sexy Melina taking on Nunzio, Chad. Why was Nunzio fighting? Oh, whoopsie. Shannon Moore won the light heavyweight championship and at WrestleMania, Chad. He beat Drago and Jamie Noble, I think it was.
Yeah.
And, he's had an easy little ride as of late, and that has attracted the eyes of TNA superstar Melina Perez,
Ooh.
who got the call up to be Shannon Moore's boyfriend. And they have been on the casting couch. Yes, you're right. Watching the cruiserweights, the light heavyweights having their showcase matches, proving and trying to become the number one contender. Shannon Moore looking at the competition, realizing, is there any competition? Until Nunzio came back out. Little Guido, as he was known in WCW, tells everyone that Nunzio is his family's name, and he's no more Little Guido. He's here to not prove. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for, Chad?
And it's not prove?
Yeah.
Establish?
Establish something. Yeah, he's trying to establish himself in the SmackDown locker room in the light heavyweight championship division, and he's going to win.
Statement, perhaps?
Yeah, send a statement. And he wants that belt, Chad.
Yeah.
It's Nunzio and sexy Shannon Moore. Who gets the job done, Chad? Light heavyweight championship on the line.
I'm going to go sexy Shannon Moore, because it's one of my favorite gimmicks that you have.
And he gets the job done. A good performance, a welcoming debut. Oh, he has actually wrestled. A good pay-per-view debut for Nunzio, but it's just not enough. Mm-hmm. Shannon Moore proves why he is the sexiest man in the light heavyweight division and getting the job done, making this defense number 4 of the light heavyweight championship. I think that's the most defenses that belt has ever had, to be honest with you.
That's crazy.
We move on, Chad. So you're 2-0 to start. There's no hype package of this one because it just got announced on SmackDown. It's the two big Goliaths. It's Scott Steiner against Chris Hero. Scott Steiner, who is not part of the Family versus the Gentleman's Club feud, was on Raw, teaming with China. And you might be wondering, why aren't they teaming together? And Chad asked me that yesterday earlier today, and I said, I kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you. Because I kind of didn't have plans for it, to be honest with you. That being said, Scott Steiner comes back after Steven Richards and the Family had burned down the Gentleman's Club. And he was not too happy because all of his hoochie mamas were in there. And now they have all perished.
Jesus Christ. And now they've all died.
And Scott Steiner said he's going to send Chris...
Lots of therapy.
He's going to send the Family right to where his hoochie mamas live. And that all came to a head at Friday Night SmackDown 2 nights ago when John Cena and Stevie Richards, you'll see them fight later on tonight. They started fighting, and that led Scott Steiner to go face-to-face, mouth-to-mouth with the big muscle from the South, Chris Hero. And now they have a match tonight. It's Chris Hero and Scott, Big Bad Booty Daddy Steiner. Can he get a vengeance for his hoochie mamas? Or can Chris Hero keep the Family's momentum rolling? And can he put down the Big Bad Booty Daddy? Chad, let me know who you got.
This one might be wrong, but I'm going to go whoop whoop. I'm going Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner to do it for his hoochie mamas. Can't get it done. Chris Hero gives him the big old hero's welcome, Chad.
I thought I might be wrong, but I just like Scott Steiner.
Yeah, so does everyone. But Chris Hero proves why he's the big muscle of the Family and why this family should not be taken lightly here in the Smack. They may have lost the last couple weeks, but Chris Hero getting a big one-on-one match at SummerSlam against Scott Steiner gets the job done. We move on now, Chad. And you should probably take some notes on this one, brother.
Yeah.
You should probably take some notes. It's China versus Collier. It's the European Championship on the line. Chad Collier been on a kind of a roll as of lately, getting the belt back off of Fig. Last 2 months ago. Was it Battleground? Battleground, correct. He defended it against Hogan. Not Hulk. Horace Hogan at No Mercy. And he was looking scot-free going into SummerSlam until China put her hat in the men's division. She relinquished the women's championship after dominating the division for months on end. And now she's calling her shot like Babe Ruth did in the 30s, where he pointed and then jacked a home run. She pointed right at Chad Collier, who has thought this has been a conspiracy to get the belt back off of him. He thinks the universe, the man, the Illuminati, the government, whatever you want to say, is working against him. He's kind of like Andrew Tate a little bit.
Oh, don't compare me to Andrew Tate.
Well, you're not Chad Collier.
That's true, yeah.
So we get China and Chad Collier. European Championship on the line, Chad. Who do you got?
I think the conspiracy is going to take another thing that Chad loves dear. I'm going to go with China here for the win.
Fake's watching backstage.
Oh, nice.
He's watching this match, Chad.
Cool.
What's he got to do? Well, about that good wrestling and great heat, China does get it done, Chad. And she hits the powerbomb on Chad Collier in 14:45 and wins the WWE European Championship. Your reign has been cut short.
Damn.
Not even.
Conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. After the match, we saw Fig watching. He comes out there. Oh, she's got a new hope spot, Chad. You almost beat her until China came back with her 5 moves of doom.
Yeah.
Hit her with the FU powerbomb and called it a night. Fig comes out and climbs China like an Amazon tree and celebrates with her.
Oh.
As she puts him on her bicep, flexes in one arm with Fig, like Macho and Elizabeth in Mania, and with the belt in the other. What the hell, Chad? Fig's with China.
Ah. Well, of course, the conspiracy. Not now. It's just proof that there's a conspiracy.
Randy Hogan, Rock Austin, Chad Fig, the rivalry. Owen Sammy fight forever. That's what's gonna go on, Chad. We go backstage. Randy Orton's with Mike Tyson, and he. Oh, did I hit it? There we go. He tells Tyson backstage that he has somehow convinced Mike Tyson to be convinced Vince. That he convinced Vince, get it? To make Mike Tyson the special guest enforcer in that, not the referee, but the enforcer in the Hell in a Cell between him and Brock Lesnar. Tyson will be in the cage. Tyson will be enforcing the match.
Heck yeah.
There will be a referee outside of the ring, is what the gimmick is. We move on. We have, here we go. It's the Kid Cash trilogy, Chad. He wrestled Mick Foley last month. Broke his shoulder. Right? Mick Foley somehow got the job done, and that didn't sit well with Kid Cash. As he went to Mick Foley's house, right?
Right.
And he brain busted him on the kitchen table while he was having dinner with poor little Noel and then the little clown fuck that Frank, right?
Sure.
Well, he's the neighborhood kid at this story. And right in front of Miss Foley's baby little boy or whatever the fuck it is. Foley he is old. And he got brain busted and through the table. And that didn't sit well with Mick Foley. Something happened because he snapped into Mankind when he came back, right?
Yeah.
And Kid Cash wanted him. And then Dude Love came out, right? And Kid Cash at this point is pissed off. He just wants to fight Mick Foley. He doesn't want this love. He doesn't want this respect. He wants a fucking fight. And that triggered something. You got what you wish for. That triggered something in Mick Foley's head because the hardcore deathmatch machine Cactus Jack made his in-ring debut or his return. I don't think it ever happened, right? In WWE? Am I safe?
So.
I don't think we've ever used any other.
No.
We used Mankind in the beginning, and then Mick Foley in WCW.
I might have used like a Cactus or a Dude Love spot, but I don't think so.
I don't remember. And then Cactus Jack comes out. We get Cactus Jack tonight, Chad. Who you got?
Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Cactus Jack?
Yeah.
In a nice little match, he gets the job done. He hits the pile driver on poor little Kid Cash. Kid Cash's streak of losing at SummerSlam continues. That's 3 in a row now.
Oh, the streak.
The streak.
Watch out, Undertaker.
The Undertaker streak doesn't even exist in this one. Remember, he lost at Austin.
I mean, he still had a streak at one point.
Yeah, I guess so, but we don't really count. We don't really count it. Speaking of streaks, Chad's 4-1 tonight in the matches.
Yeah.
Well, is that true? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think I've only gotten one right.
Yeah, you're right.
One wrong.
You are right.
Because I'm moving my heart, not my gut.
We go backstage. Bryan Danielson is backstage giving Nick Gage some final tips going into the night. It's Nick Gage and Dean Malenko taking on Edge and Christian later tonight, Chad. But first, we have a grudge match. We have some personal business to get rid of, Chad. And there's a lot of personal business to get rid of tonight. But we have a LA street parking lot brawl. Not even a street fight. It's the Staples Center parking lot brawl between C.W. Anderson, Johnny Storm, and Arn Anderson. The Andersons and Storm taking on La Resistance. This all started when C.W. Anderson and Johnny Storm beat Rene Dupree or Grenier and Conway at Mania retaining their belts, and they were not happy about it. And they ran over the tag team champions, trying to get the belts off of them and onto them. That didn't work. They weren't given the belts, and that they attempted murder. Remember when Grenier and Conway were in jail, Chad?
Yeah.
And Rene paid them off. Unbelievable. They came back with a vengeance. And these came after Grenier and Conway, but they forgot about Dupree, and then they ran over Arn Anderson.
Damn.
Hate to fucking see it. C.W. Anderson, Johnny Storm, Arn Anderson said, go kill those motherfuckers. And that has led to this. And we thought it was just going to be a 2-on-2 until last week where C.W. Anderson told everyone, Arn Anderson has beaten the doctor's predictions, by the grace of God, is healthy enough, and he has challenged La Resistance to a 3-on-3 parking lot brawl match here in Staples Center. Chad, it's the Andersons and Storm. Team Slaughter taking on La Resistance. Who do you got?
Give me Team Slaughter.
Oh, man. Chad's going with Team Slaughter. And the job is done. Arn Anderson and Team Slaughter get the job done when C.W. Anderson pins Sylvain Grenier on the car that Arn Anderson got ran over in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Yeah, for sure. Did it on the car that he ran over, which was Rene Dupree's actual personal car. Did you know that?
I did not.
That was a fun little fact.
Arn wasn't even the worst worker in this match.
No, Arn can still go, brother. Conway's not there yet. Shout out to Grenier and shout out C.W. Anderson with an 82. A couple little stump bumps as C.W. Anderson took a massive Rene bomb on the fucking cement floor, and we thought that was it. And then Arn Anderson threw Sylvain Grenier through a window of a car, a nice limo, Chad.
Oh, Jerry Seinfeld's limo.
Jerry Seinfeld's limo.
What's up with that?
We move on. Chavo Guerrero's warming up backstage, and Eddie is here, and he says he will be in his corner tonight.
Ooh.
The Guerrero family sticks together. It's Chavo with Eddie Guerrero one more night. He's warming up backstage. It's going to be Chavo with Eddie in his back, taking on Latin Lover later tonight, Chad. But first, we got a nice little match here, Chad. It's John Cena taking on Stevie Richards. We basically went over the story of what Stevie Richards is, but John Cena came into prominence going into last year, coming out of this year, looked very good in the Rumble, won the U.S. belt at Mania, had the crowd going. He lost the belt to Latin Lover.
Yeah.
And then he lost, actually lost Taker, then the Latin Lover, then lost the rematch to Latin Lover. His morale was going through the ground. He just couldn't buy a win. And Stevie Richards made fun of him, Jen, because Stevie Richards was coming out of a nice fatal four-way. He just killed the Gentleman's Club.
Ooh.
He just killed them, burned them to the ground. And Stevie Richards says, John Cena is like the Yankees of the WWE. He's everything that he fucking despises here in the WWE. And that has led to John Cena taking out his aggression against Stevie Richards and the family. We get that match up next, Chad. Who do you got? John Cena, Stevie Richards.
John Cena.
Chad will go with John Cena. Well, in an upset win,
Wow.
Stevie Richards hits him with a Stevie kick after a little bit of distraction from Chris Harris and Mike Sanders. Stevie Richards gets the job done in 1944 and gets a huge win over John Cena tonight, Chad.
That's crazy.
What's crazy about it?
That's wild. John Cena just losing. But that's a good way to build a new stable.
It is. But John Cena will be fine. You'll see. You'll see. Backstage, they're in the same parking lot that we just saw Massive Brawl in. The Double J Records are backstage, and they welcome their new client here. But we still don't know who it is, Chad.
Still don't know who it is.
We still don't know who it is. And John Berg and Linsky didn't know who it was, and they're like, oh, shit. It's him?
It's him.
We move on, Chad. It is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship time.
Okay.
It's the Final Bosses taking on the Brothers of Destruction. Mid-card match here. We don't need a main event. Oh, where is that right there? Let me pop it open right there. Hashimoto and Kojima. They have been dominant since they've teamed up together. They're taking on Undertaker and Kane, Chad. Taker lost his belt to Misawa at Battleground. And since then, even before then, has been feuding with the final bosses. And after Hashimoto and Kojima joined forces with Misawa and Cornette, Taker was undermanned and outnumbered until his brother Kane came back from the depths of hell in the booking order because he was struggling. I'll tell you what, he was teaming with Gene Snitsky, and I said, not so fast.
Not so fast.
Put him back with Taker. They've had a big come up back together. It's Taker, Kane, Brothers of Destruction against Hashimoto and Kojima. SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. Bringle, who you got?
Man. I'm gonna go with the Brothers of Destruction.
Ooh. He's going with the Brothers of Destruction. Well, in an exceptional match, the final bosses prove once again why Raven is shit. And these are the real final bosses of professional wrestling. When Hashimoto pins Kane with a brainbuster, and they make defense number 3 of the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. You thought they were losing so quickly? They just won the belts.
I think it could have went either way.
For sure. If
it wasn't Kane and Undertaker, I would have said a final boss easily.
With 4 great talents, it could go either way. But if I'm going to have a stable called the Final Bosses and just win the tag belts, they're not losing the tag belts yet.
That's fair. What am I at right now?
5 and 3.
5 and 3. Okay, I'll take that.
5 and 3, Chad. We move on. We got
a lot more to
We're going from tag champs to tag champs now, Chad.
Oh, nice.
Raw tag team belts are on the line. Edge and Christian, the whole match was leading towards Dean Malenko and Danielson, the Boston Combat Club, against Edge and Christian, until Danielson tore his ACL in a pre-show match. And I was not happy about it. Let me tell you what. We had to freebird the belt onto Nick Gage, which has now led to this match right here. Edge and Christian, who have been on a massive roll since Edge came back from injury, against 2 members of a stable. Right? There was a stable. They got the chemistry. But to be honest, they're not on the same level as Danielson and Malenko chemistry-wise and tag team chemistry-wise. Will that matter at all? Or will they just continue rolling as the Boston Combat Club? We got Edge and Christian, Danielson, or Malenko and Gage. Chad, it's Beauty and the Beast, Edge and Christian. Who do you got?
If Bryan Danielson was here, I'd go with that team. But since he's not, I'm going to go Edge and Christian.
Chad will go Edge and Christian. Can they keep their roll on a roll? And they can. Edge and Christian get the job done. It's a shame that it wasn't against Danielson. But Edge pins Nick Gage with a missile drop kick. Dean Malenko did anything and everything in his power to keep Nick Gage out of the match, but he needed the hot tag. He hot tagged Nick Gage. We hit Edge and Christian with some clotheslines.
This match would have been a banger if Bryan Danielson would have been
It's
94, 95, 94, 48.
Yeah, tell me about it, brother. We just got to roll with it. Yep. Hit him with a couple clotheslines, the hot tag, brought out his fork, but he missed the fork stab, and Christian hit him with a DDT, tagged an Edge, who gave him a little missile drop kick, and that was it, because Malenko was gassed, couldn't get back in the ring. And that's the end of the reign for the Boston Combat Club. A healthy reign for Malenko, Gage, and Bryan Danielson, but an injury, they gave it their all. They had a nice little title defense against Burger Cade, but when it comes to an experienced tag team, they just couldn't get the job done. Edge and Christian, your new tag team champions. Speaking of champions, Triple H makes his way down on the ring, Chad. Who is going to be that mystery man? Jeff Jarrett comes out, and he says he's announcing the newest member and division of the Double J Records. Because not only is this, he says this is not only, it's a wrestling label, right? It's a wrestling entertainment mogul. Just the greatest wrestlers helping each other not only improve their pecking order in the ring, but out of the ring. And wrestling, WWE is not the only company that does wrestling. So our newest division, our newest signee, representing CMLL, Chad, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah, Chad. It's Triple H and Dustin Rhodes. We haven't seen Dustin Rhodes in a while.
I wonder if you're going to put up a comedy match.
Dustin Rhodes is the newest member of Double J Records, as he will represent CMLL and Double J and Jeff Jarrett, which will in turn lead to Jeff Jarrett going over there and wrestle with him. it's going to lead to some major opportunities between two of these two companies.
Nice.
So who do you got? Triple H and Dustin Rhodes going one-on-one. What? You don't think I'm going to put the belt on Dustin Rhodes, brother?
No, I'm going to go Triple H.
Yes, he gets the job done. Makes this defense number 7. A hell of a match, though. On 94. No right to be that good. No right to be that good, Chad. And now we got 4 matches left, Chad.
4 matches left.
4 matches left. You sit at 6-9.
Nice.
We got a match. World title on the line.
Well, I got 6 right and
3 wrong. That would be 6-3.
Okay, you said 6 and 9.
I meant to say 6 out of 9.
That's why I was confused. I was like, wait.
I just love 69. Goldberg and Masawa is up next, Chad.
Yeah. Same logic with the Brothers of Destruction, and that I'll go with Masawa, but I think this could go either way. But I'm gonna go Masawa.
Masawa, ever since coming into the WWE, has aligned himself with Jim Cornette, who from day one has said, "This is the baddest wrestler in all of the land." He tore through Japan, and now he's here in America to tear through them. And he had one thing on his mind, and that's World Championship. We had challengers and opposition thrown at him, but Masawa just kept getting the job done until he finally beat The Undertaker at Battleground 2 months ago. Got the rematch against Tate. Well, I don't even think they had a rematch. Goldberg, same gimmick here, but with zero Cornette. Came in, destroyed everyone, beat Mick Foley, beat Stone Cold, beat, who was I about to say? Scott Steiner. Beat Undertaker last month on week 4 SmackDown in July to win the number 1 contender match. And now Goldberg, we saw him go through. He speared Hashimoto, but he speared Kojima. He beat up Cornette in that last week on the go home SmackDown during the match. But now we finally get this match. Masawa versus Goldberg. A dream match, Chad. Who do you got?
I got Masawa.
You got Masawa?
Yeah.
Well, in 100. Fuck, should have main evented with this. Doesn't matter. Masawa defeats Goldberg in 2027 with the Tiger Driver. And Cornette, man. Cornette comes out, Hashimoto and Kojima. And the final bosses stand tall, Chad, as we head to commercial.
Nice.
All 3 continue to retain their belts. The final bosses, brother. Who is going to dethrone these guys? Who? Chad, we just saw Goldberg try. One of the most freakish men in all professional wrestling lose to Masawa. Who can get it done? Well, I don't know. Maybe you. I think you will have to do it, Chad.
You think me?
In real life.
Bring it on.
Go out and fight Masawa.
I'll fist fight Masawa.
We head out of a commercial, we come back, and Kevin Kelly's front row with Jerry Seinfeld asking
What's up with that?
Asking him about Seinfeld season 3 when it debuts. He says it comes out week. You know what? Let's go to the Titantron and let Alex Wright talk about it, Chad. He's technically off screen. So Alex Wright says Seinfeld season 3, we just got done. He's still holding his WWE championship, by the way. I went from a cameo guy, a backstage extra, not a backstage, to I'm Jerry Seinfeld's best friend.
I'm main cast, bro.
I'm main cast now, brother. You can find season 3.
I'm in the title. I'm in the title sequence.
I'm in the title sequence, brother. You can find season 3 streaming on Hulu. No, it'll be debuting in 2 months from now, October. On Fox, 8 p.m. on Sunday. You can catch myself. You can catch Jerry Seinfeld. You can catch Mr. Kramer. What's his real name? Is Kramer's real name in real life?
No.
George Costanza? Is that a real guy? That sounds like a...
George Costanza is a real guy, yeah.
Is he playing in Seinfeld?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can catch all 3 of us on Seinfeld.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't. That's like one of my one shows that I know I'd like, but I haven't seen.
All right. Wow. Well, Kevin Kelly, thanks, Jerry. Oh, don't mention it. We see Alex Wright for the first time in a while. Well, we don't
see him, but
he's here. He's on Titantron. He's just
yeah.
No, he can't technically appear in the ring.
Got it.
It's a weird gimmick. I hate it. But we cue our commercial, or not our camera points up. It's the cell lowering, Chad. Dun, 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 dun. It's Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar time, Chad.
Hell yeah.
It's you. Are you gassed already?
No, I'm
This
stoked.
is
This is
35-minute long. Wait, we saw these two come up at the same time, right?
Right.
Future Shock, April 2000. We all remember the day, right?
Yeah.
We all remember the day after WrestleMania where they attacked Shawn Stasiak, and we're like, oh shit, Tyson's here. What the fuck's going on? 2.5 years later, finally, well, not 2.5, but over 2 years later, the stable has crumbled. As we saw Orton mess up a few times, and that pissed off Brock Lesnar. Lesnar lost that triple threat match at Battleground. Orton tried to give him a hug. Lesnar said, fuck no, brother. Get out of my face. Tyson had to intervene. And that had no mercy. It all came to heads where Orton cost Lesnar again. And Lesnar said, that's enough, brother, and suplexed him. And Tyson got in his way, and Lesnar suplexed him again. And that has led to Lesnar getting... Well, it wasn't announced that he was suspended. People don't know that, okay? This was one of the under-the-table suspensions. Shh. Shh. All right? Okay. Lesnar told Vince to keep it under wraps.
Hushity hush.
We saw Orton get... Lesnar played some mental games while at home, you know? Yeah. It was like touch tunes where you play a song at home because you're that close to the bar. He was playing his theme music and during Orton's entrances and shit like that. And it got into his head. And Orton finally... was just like, I'm not scared of you. And Lesnar came back and beat the shit out of him. And beat the shit out of Tyson. And then chased him down. Finally, we saw in the go-home where he said, there's no more running and no more hiding. Because you can't run from me inside a cell. And we get that match right here, Chad. It's Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Mike Tyson, the special enforcer for this match, Chad. Who do you got?
Brock Lesnar.
You got Brock Lesnar, Chad. That's a good pick. This match, a hell of a match.
No pun intended.
They brought no one up top this time. No up top there, Chad. No one up top. They keep it inside the cell tonight.
Ooh, interesting.
But they brawl all over the place. The finish, though, Chad. The finish. Orton has Lesnar is desecrated. Poor Randy Orton. He's barely alive at this point. We can medically can barely call him alive at this point.
Wow.
He's battered. He's bleeding everywhere. And Tyson's just got to watch this as the enforcer. He's just got to make sure, nothing illegal happens, right? No one. Lesnar doesn't bring out a gun and shoot him. You can't have that, says Tyson. He's got to enforce that. And at one point, the last little Lesnar F5s him again. It's the 7th time. He is the 7th time in a row. He just keeps picking him up and F5ing him, Chad. And at this point, Tyson, watching his friend getting fucking annihilated, had to step in. He's like, Brock, you're done. All right, this match is over. You can't do this anymore. And Lesnar's like, Tyson, you move out of the way. I'm going to do it one more time. And if you don't move, I'll do it to you. And Tyson, or what, Brock? And Brock tries to clothesline him. Tyson ducks and punches him in the mouth.
Oh, man.
And Tyson, former WBC World Boxing...
he's got a hell of a hand.
Knocks him out with the one-punch KO.
Oh, wow.
And Tyson picks Orton's corpse up.
Throws him on top.
And throws him on top. And the referee, 1, 2, 3, and Orton wins. Don't look at the RKO. I can't book what I booked in this. Yeah. Orton defeats Brock Lesnar via Mike Tyson's KO punch.
Wow. Good for Randy Orton.
Orton getting a big win over Brock Lesnar here in the Hell in a Cell, Chad. Hell of a match. Hell of a match. But speaking of hell in a match, we see Orton and Tyson standing tall somehow. Orton is...
Future Shock is probably... This is the end of Future Shock.
This is definitely the end of Future Shock. Orton, that might be the end of Orton. If they got to rush them into the doctors because he might bleed out.
Yeah, Mike Tyson raised up his hand and then took him to the hospital.
Yeah, he said, taxi! We get our co-main event, Chad.
Nice.
It's our co-main event. It's Chavo Guerrero. It wasn't Eddie versus Lover. It was Chavo versus Latin Lover. Look, this is a throwback again. The Guerrero Dojo, Eddie Guerrero's dojo, his crew, that had Chavo Guerrero, Latin Lover, and El Hijo del Santo. First of all, I had Latin Lover and Del Santo in the beginning. Yeah. Chavo came over late after his contract expired from WCW. And then he got added in. They won the tag bouts as it was supposed to be Del Santo and Lover to win the belts. Del Santo actually went to politics in February.
Go run for president.
He went to go run for president. He's still gone at this point. And that's why Chavo and Latin Lover were tag team champions for a while. And then Chavo got hurt, and he was gone for a year. Latin Lover kind of switched up when Eddie left. Eddie had his own demons to go fight, meaning he signed with CML. Wait, did I fire him?
You fired him because he got a DUI.
Ah, yes, DUI, his drug addiction.
Yep.
It wasn't drug, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
He got fired. It was for
he
drugs.
definitely got fired. Yeah. Well, DUI isn't.
It was drugs or alcohol.
Well, you can. Yeah. Well, we're having an I'm having an argument with myself over nothing.
Yeah.
Where was I? Chavo comes back. He congratulates Latin Lover. He hasn't seen him in a year. And Latin Lover's like, what do you congratulate? My life and my career kind of blew up after you got hurt and Eddie left. And you are only here because of your fucking last name. And that has started a beef between Latin Lover and Chavo Guerrero and the Guerrero family and Eddie Guerrero making his 1 year, he's back for the night, to be in Chavo Guerrero's corner. It's Chavo. Can Chavo do it for his family? Or can Latin Lover be a piece of shit and beat Chavo Guerrero and prove himself right and prove that Chavo is just a benefactor of his last name? Yeah. Latin Lover, Chavo Guerrero, United States Championship, co-main event of the night. Who you got, Chad?
Oh man, I think Eddie being here, I'm gonna go Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo Guerrero. Well, if there's one thing proven tonight, Chad, is that Eddie Guerrero maybe just doesn't have it anymore. Latin Lover gets the job done. Oh, an awkward pairing. Fuck you, Eddie and Chavo are an awkward pairing. Eat my ass. Latin Lover gets it done, proving that Chavo might just be just his name. As he makes this defense number 3, as he hit Chavo Guerrero with a La Patada del Cabrito. And he just picks up Chavo, hits it again. Eddie comes in the ring. He hits him with the La Patada del Cabrito. And he's just... Because we're so close to Mexico. So there's a lot of Eddie Guerrero, the Guerrero family in full tonight.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone's just booing Latin Lover. And they're throwing trash in the ring. They're flipping him off. Latin Lover, the biggest heel in the business right now, brother. He celebrates as the booze rain down and the trash piles up in the ring. And that leads us to our main event of the night, Chad. The Crew's cleaning up the ring. Ross, Cole, Coachman, they're going over. It's Angle and Jericho in our main event tonight, Chad. Who do you got?
Oh, I got Angle.
Masawa. Oh, does Masawa already have a 100? Is that Masawa's first 100?
Might be.
That's Masawa's first 100. Unbelievable. Who did he just wrestle? Goldberg? Is that Goldberg's first 100 over here? Yep. That is Goldberg's as well. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kurt Angle. I think he just won it. Wouldn't really make sense. It would make. There's reasons for Jericho, of course, to take it, but I'm gonna go Angle.
Yeah. Well, they have a great match, but Chad, you are correct. Kurt Angle defeats Chris Jericho with a submission by an ankle lock, and he makes this defense number 2 of the WWE Interim World Heavyweight Championship, and he celebrates in the ring to end SummerSlam into no chance.
I was wondering where this. I was like,
Vince McMahon comes out and he's flanked by Shane Stephanie, and he says, "Congratulations, Kurt. You fought hard and you beat Chris Jericho and you retained your Interim World Heavyweight Championship. But unfortunately for you," as he holds his clipboard, "a decision has been made by the board of directors. And they have found you guilty of politicking your way to the World Heavyweight Championship. And they have no reason not to strip you of the belt right here, right now. So as of right now, Kurt, you are no longer the champion. I told you, Kurt, you don't cross the boss." Oh, fuck me. And you might be wondering, who's on this board of directors?
Me.
It's me. Get 'em, boys. And PJ Black Mark Henry and Psychosis beat down Kurt Angle to end the show, Chad.
Wow.
The interim Raw Heavyweight Championship is
Are we
vacated.
going to have an interim world champion?
And that is
show.
SummerSlam.
100 show.
100.
Hell yeah.
A hell of a show.
Hell of a show. Hey.
Hell of a
Left
show.
some room for barely legal.
God, if you pull 100 with that card, I hope. God, I hope you do.
I won't.
I hope you do. I hope that main event gets at least 100.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope you get a 95 or above, Jen.
I'd be happy with that.
100 match. Who would have thought Chavo and Latin Lover would have banged? Who cares? That was a banger of a show. One of my favorite shows I've booked in a while. What does this... Where do we go from here, though?
Yeah, what happens?
Don't cross the... Is Vince... Who's the champion on Raw? We're going to have to find out next time. But before that, we have... WCW presents Barely Legal, a 5-man championship scramble. Chris Benoit puts his WCW World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Shawn Michaels, The Big Show, RVD, and Samoa Joe. All headlined by his special guest referee, the Hitman, Bret Hart, live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We'll see you there. And fought Cody Rhodes.
All right, everybody, we are here for Barely Legal. Now, if you were expecting a 50-segment masterclass like SummerSlam, I'm complimenting you.
Okay.
You're sadly going to be disappointed, but I do think we've got a solid show. So I'm excited. This is the first Nitro exclusive pay-per-view.
That is true, Chad. Go
So-
over last year's card.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So last year at Barely Legal, we had Shelton Benjamin versus Claudio Castagnoli in the pre-show,
Okay.
as well as Chuck Palumbo versus Eddie Colon. Obviously tough enough stuff.
Yes, sir.
We had Debbie Malenko, Chyna, and Trish Stratus defeating Queen Charmel, Beth Phoenix, and Cutie Suzuki.
Okay.
We had a show opener,
Yes.
an angle with Chester Huey, Lash LaRue, and Johnny Devine.
Yeah. Well, I want to know what that is.
Me too. Shannon Moore defeated Jeff Hardy to win the WCW World Television Championship.
Good for Shannon Moore, brother.
We had Hardcore Holly defeating Sid Vicious to retain the Hardcore Championship.
Okay, we're losing me.
We had Monty Brown and Big Daddy V defeating the Dudley Boys to win the WCW Tag Team titles.
All right.
We had Ray and AJ defeating Team Canada in a 2-on-2, 2-out-of-3 falls match.
Interesting.
Yep. Owen and Raven defeating Lodi and Shark Boy, Too Cool, and Matt Hardy and Abyss.
What tags? We love it.
We love that. We had Rob Van Dam defeating Canyon in a stretcher match.
I remember that one. That was a classic.
A classic.
Classic rivalry right there, brother.
Shane Douglas, Taka Michinoku, Minoru Suzuki, and Taz defeating Hulk Hogan, Billy Kidman, and the Outsiders.
I don't remember that. Why do I not remember Kidman as a Hogan boy?
I don't know. Chris Benoit defeating Tommy Dreamer to retain the WCW United States Championship.
Wouldn't be a Barely Legal without Tommy Dreamer.
We had Bret Hart defeating Ahmed.
Oh.
We had Goldberg defeating Steven Regal.
Okay, that kind of fucks.
And Shawn Michaels defeated Sting to retain the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Held at the Spectrum, where
Yep.
you were holding your show this year.
Hell yeah.
So let's go, Chad.
Let's go. I'm going to pull up. Don't look. You know what? I'll just start.
That's on you, brother. That's
So,
a rookie move.
Paul Heyman greets the crowd. He welcomes everybody. He gives an impassioned speech about the good old days of ECW, and he welcomes you all. He says what you're gonna see. You're gonna see hard hitting action. You're gonna see violence. You're gonna see things that are barely legal.
Oh boy. Oh.
As we start our opening match, James Gibson, Noble No More versus Tommy Dreamer in a hardcore match.
Oh, come on. It's Dreamer's hardcore match. He's going to lose. That's a streak. He loses at Barely Legal.
Yes, and in a decent match, Noble No More defeated Tommy Dreamer in 1519 with a guillotine choke.
With a fucking tap out in the hardcore match?
Yep.
What are we, fucking...
Well, he did a guillotine choke, but he wrapped his fists around barbed wire and then put him in the guillotine choke.
There you go.
So,
There
pretty
you go.
pretty fucking violent if you ask me. And then Rob Van Dam is backstage,
Nice.
he says, "Listen, I came back from injury. I missed time from my career, and I'm here tonight with my first opportunity to win the world championship. And tonight I'm gonna win it because I am the whole effing show." He hasn't had a championship match yet.
Hasn't had a championship match.
hasn't.
Interesting.
Correct.
And he's back home.
He is back home.
ECW is Spectrum Arena.
True.
I think this is easy.
And Justin, the music hits, so you know what's coming next. It is the Society versus the Wild
I didn't
Boys
know
in a
that.
4-on-4 tag team
You
match.
said, well, I know what's coming up next. I don't know what music hit. What's their music? What would be their music, Jen?
I don't know.
Ace of Spades! Ace of Spades!
Who do you got?
Wild Boys.
That is not a bad prediction.
No, it's not. I'm predicting.
In a decent match, the Wild Boys defeated the Society when Dave Batista pinned Kevin Nash with a sit-out powerbomb.
There you go.
CM Punk was head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah, no shit.
Of course he was.
90 right now,
CM
right?
Punk got a 92,
Yeah,
yep.
no fucking shit, brothers in
Yeah.
the lower mid card right now.
Yep.
That's why this company's in the damn shape it's in.
The Big Show
hell yeah,
cuts a promo, and he says, tonight I have an opportunity to prove something of my own, to prove that I'm better than Shaquille O'Neal when I win the championship and prove that I am the best and biggest and most powerful athlete in the world.
Bro, give me Big Show Giant Sing.
Big Show Giant Sing in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Giant Sing, like, realistically,
Yeah.
should just dominate Tough Enough.
Right.
There should be no reason a 7'3", 450 Punjabi monster should be
that's
jobbing
fair.
to
That's fair.
Matt Sydal.
That's fair.
An
I think unless it's like tag matches, I think the only singles match he lost has been Sean O'Hare, which I immediately regretted doing as soon as I booked it.
Yeah.
So, but next up we've got Mil Muertes and Abyss taking on Taz and Johnny Stamboli.
I'm praying that you actually do Abyss Muertes, but you also made them lose clean earlier, so
I made Mil Muertes lose clean.
that's not good.
But in a decent match, Abyss and Mil Muertes defeat Taz and Johnny Stamboli in 15-12 when Abyss pins Johnny Stamboli with a shock treatment.
Poor Johnny Taz wasn't it.
Taz was not in it. Oh,
You
yeah.
made Taz lose an ECW title? What are you? This is
I
Rising
made
Sun all over
Tommy
again.
Dreamer lose too.
This is Rising Sun all
This
over
is
again.
Rising
If
Sun.
RVD doesn't win, we riot.
Samoa Joe backstage.
One of a kind!
He says,
Hey!
I'll take this opportunity to make a little announcement on my own. I signed a 2-year deal with WCW. And the only thing I think that's better than to celebrate my brand new contract is win myself a new world championship. My Violence World Tour runs through Pennsylvania at the Spectrum Arena tonight, and I'm going to win the world championship.
I believe him.
You should believe,
I believe him.
most of the time Samoa Joe is a man of his word,
Until someone asked him about steroids.
So, Billy Kidman.
Get popped.
Billy Kidman brings in Devon Dudley, and he says, Devon, listen, unfortunately,
Fire him. Fire him.
I gave Bubba Ray and yourself one rule, and it was don't put your hands on each other until the pay-per-view. Bubba attacked you last week, and so he came in today, and I fired him. And Devon is pissed. He said, Billy,
Please.
I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please don't fire Bubba. Let me get my match tonight. Let me get my revenge and my payback. And Billy says, Devon, I'm sorry, but rules are rules. And if I don't stick to my guns now, the next time I threaten to fire somebody, no one will believe me. I'm sorry, Devon, but Bubba Ray is fired tonight. And Devon Storm is fired. He no longer works.
Well, he wouldn't be in the segment if he
Yeah.
knew.
So, and I know. And Devon Dudley, fuming mad, leaves.
Is he gonna fight Stacy instead?
Who knows what?
Come on, give me.
Who knows
brother,
what's
if you
gonna
don't go
happen?
to your booking screen and give me Devon Stacy tonight,
Shawn Michaels is backstage,
you have your China Chad. I got Stacy Devon.
and he says, "What's my strategy going into this match? Well, it's very fitting that an ECW pay-per-view features the greatest hardcore champion of all time, the hardcore hero himself, Shawn Michaels. The last time I wrestled at this pay-per-view, I retained my world championship.
I main evented.
I main evented, and I'm gonna main event it again. And who knows? Maybe I'll repeat my little streak. Maybe I'll win the belt." And then he shows his shoes that have thumbtacks sticking out, and he says,
The Young Bucks.
"All it's gonna take is one sweet chin music."
Little Matt Jackson, watch this. And said, I'm gonna do that.
Says, "I'm gonna be just like Shawn
He's
Michaels."
just like him.
So, Justin, we have a match that was made today on the fly.
Oh.
Billy Kidman booked it as a way to say, I'm sorry for you're not going to get Bubba versus Devon, but you are going to get
Why didn't you tell him in that promo?
a battle royal tonight, and the winner of this battle royal will earn a United States Championship match against... No, Devon's not in it. But I'll tell you who is in it. All these guys. And in a decent match, Big Daddy V won a battle royal in 1437. The other members of the Final Four were Fit Finley, Shane Douglas, and Seema. With Fit Finley being the final elimination, Big Daddy V got the most eliminations over the course of the match. So Big Daddy V will face Chris Benoit for the U.S. belt at a later date.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Crazy like a fox.
You don't get Devon and Bubba, you're getting Sabu and Johnny B. Bad. Is Sabu in there?
Sabu. This was also a since it's ECW gimmick. It was a bring your own weapon.
What weapon did Aguila bring?
What weapon? Well, Aguila brought a gaming console because in a future life he was once a gamer. So we hit them with an N64.
Good.
That's good.
Good save.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
save,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
Working
Thank
on
you.
the fly.
Thank you. You want to know what you want to know what anybody else brought?
That was it.
That was it. Perfect. Thank you, Johnny B. Bad, who had a distended anus. The distended anus, Justin, strikes again.
Oh, man, he shoved the joystick up his ass.
Chris Benoit, he has both his championships, and he says, Rob Van Dam mentioned earlier about how he was injured and lost months off his career. Well, I lost a year off my career. And I told myself that if I was able to come back from this injury, I would come back and be the best professional wrestler in the world. And I've done just that. I won the U.S. belt, and I'm the best United States champion of all time. And I've got this world championship belt. And if anybody is going to take this belt from me, they're going to have to take it from my cold, dead hands because I am the world champion. And I'm going to walk into the scramble champion, and I'm going to walk out of the scramble champion. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Okay, fair.
Fair. Chris Benoit, the current reigning world champion. But Justin, we've got a triple threat women's match. We've got Trish Stratus versus Medusa versus Beth Phoenix. This is the co-main.
Oh, wow, we're running through this show tonight.
Who do you got?
That is a smaller pay-per-view.
It is.
Trish. I think the two friends, I think, in triple threat matches, I think, when they have that kind of collusion and they're two people that they're friends, but they both hate one other person, I think at the end of the day, they'll start fighting each other.
And that's exactly what happened. Eventually, they did turn on each other, and that's when Trish Stratus was able to capitalize. And they had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Trish Stratus defeated Medusa and Beth Phoenix in 12:57. When Trish Stratus pinned Medusa with the Stratus faction, it makes defense number 4 of the Women's Championship.
Go.
After the match, Manami Toyota, she comes in the ring and she gives Trish Stratus a hug and mouths thank you. And Trish Stratus is like, thank you. And they celebrate. She raises Trish Stratus' arm and then clotheslines her and hits her and strikes her. And Trish Stratus falls to the ground. And Manami Toyota looks at that women's championship, looks at Trish Stratus and says, I'm coming for that. And then leaves. As Trish Stratus is in the ring, struck with a vicious clothesline.
A vicious.
Rainmaker! A vicious clothesline. But Justin, we have breaking news. There is a fight backstage. What is going on? There is a backstage fight. Bubba Ray, who is walking in the hallway with his stuff, is attacked by Devon Dudley, and Devon said, fuck Billy Kidman. I'll fight your ass backstage. And they fight all over that. And they never go into the parking lot. I must make that clear. There is not a parking lot brawl on the show, but they do have a backstage brawl.
In real life,
but they do have a backstage brawl. They brawl all over the place. Stacy Keibler even gets involved, and Devon Dudley is powerbomb Stacy Keibler through the t-shirt merch booth, and
fuck that bitch.
And as Bubba Ray runs, Devon Dudley picks Bubba Ray up and hits him through another. They put Stacy and Bubba both through tables as the arena security eventually break it up. But yes, we did get a big, violent, bloodied backstage brawl. Devon wasn't taking no for an answer. He was fighting Bubba tonight, and that's what we got.
All right, nice save.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out a way around it, and that's what we did.
But he's still technically fired.
Yes, Bubba Ray does not work for WCW.
Yes, he's coming around, baby.
And Bret the Hitman Hardy's got his referee shirt, and he He's coming down to this is actually him coming down to the ring. He's coming down to the ring. He's got his shirt on. He's ready to go, Justin. We've got our championship scramble match underway. Who do you have?
Benoit.
You're going Benoit.
I have to.
You have to.
I have to.
That's not a bad call. So the match starts,
I don't think he loses the world title before he loses the U.S. belt.
That's fair.
It's just-
That's fair. This match was insane. Everybody was driven. Everybody wanted that world championship.
How long did it go?
It went. I believe I had to go 20 minutes. I believe.
That's it.
I believe I had to go 20 minutes. I don't.
You had Regal and Hoover to go longer?
It was 20 minutes, or maybe it was longer. But in that match, the first pinfall, Justin, the first pinfall was made by the Big Show.
Well, of course.
So, yeah, he was made by the Big Show, and he let everyone know about it. And who'd he pin? He pinned. This is funny. He pinned Samoa Joe.
Oh, he can do
his
it.
longtime rival Samoa Joe. He pinned Samoa Joe.
All right.
Later on in the match, it was short-lived though, because later on in the match, Justin, Chris Benoit was able to get a tap out. He put Big Show in a sharpshooter, and Big Show tapped out.
Oh, Bret Hart did?
Yeah, no, it's Chris Benoit. So Chris Benoit had the pin.
Sharpshooter. God damn, Bret Hart making people tap.
The match,
brother.
The match continues.
I'm the winner now.
The match continues. It spills out. We got Samoa Joe. We got like everybody fighting outside. Rob Van Dam runs over the top rope and falls into the fray. It's a wild, crazy match, which eventually leads to Rob Van Dam getting a pinfall. Rob Van Dam is the current champion. We're getting down to the wire, and as we're counting down, Rob Van Dam is currently the champion, and the clock is ticking. We get to the final 15 seconds. And as it's getting down to the wire, Big Show was going to go for a chair shot to Chris Benoit. Benoit moves and the chair ricochets off the ring ropes and hits Big Show in the head. And as that's happening, Chris Benoit is going for the pinfall, but the ref doesn't see it, because as the referee is about to see
Brett
it.
Doesn't see it.
Yeah, Brett doesn't see it. As Brett doesn't see it, he turns around, and all of a sudden, Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music to Samoa Joe with the tack shoes, and then hits Rob Van Dam with the tack shoes, and Brett is caught up in this. Benoit and Shawn Michaels go for the pinfalls at the same time. Brett doesn't see Chris Benoit. 1, 2, 3. We have a new world heavyweight champion, and it's Shawn Michaels as he defeats Chris Benoit, Rob Van Dam, Big Show, and Samoa Joe in 1941.
As the time ran out.
As time ran out.
15. Oh, it was 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, as time ran out. So Benoit, they didn't see the pin. And Shawn Michaels celebrates in the ring. He's got the new world championship hung over as he embraces a sea of booze as he grabs a mic, because he's the bad guy and everybody was rooting for Benoit. He's the champion. Shawn Michaels grabs a microphone and he says, ECW fans, give it up for your hardcore legend, Shawn Michaels. As everyone just, how they threw trash?
No, don't do it.
They don't
say that boo.
They didn't throw trash. They threw verbal trash.
Just say that boo. I did the trash angle tonight.
As we get a 93.
Damn.
Yes, and that was barely legal, Justin.
All right. I like it.
Thank you. It's a little unpredictable little win, too. It advances some story.
Benoit losing is kind of crazy.
Yes, that is barely legal, and we will see you for the fallout for both that and SummerSlam on our next batch of shows.